Good day, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I'm your host, the voice of reason. So, in this episode, I am going to discuss Eritrea and then Eritrea uh, activities, military operations that are ongoing inside of Ethiopia and now the Sudan as well. So, just a brief update. The large media is the giant media, so to speak, to include reports coming out of the UN, are saying that uh, Eritrean forces are now operating in this disputed region of the Sudan. Specifically, there is reports coming in that Eritrean forces are in fact inside of the town of Brecht and assisting Ethiopian militia units inside of that town. And at the same time, we know that there are large elements of the Eritrean armed forces operating inside of the Tigray region. Mainly, these forces are in the north, encompassing the cities of Shire, Axum, Adigrat, and have moved as far south as Mekelle and Samre itself, down in this area. We also have received reports that the 22nd Eritrea Division is operating inside of Ethiopia proper. And what I mean by that, I'm referring to possibly forces inside of Addis Ababa and the Oromia region of Ethiopia itself, supporting Ethiopian forces operating against the Oromo Liberation Army. So then the question is why? Why is such a small country of Eritrea doing what it is doing? And we have to look at the Eritrean society. We have to look at really the military institution of Eritrea. And for a country that has approximately 3.5 million people. Now, I know there are other sources out there. I believe Wikipedia states 6 million, but that is disputed. I tend to believe that the actual population of Eritrea is about 3.5 million people. And within the context of that 3.5 million people, we have heard that the Ethiopian military contains anywhere from 150,000 to 300,000 personnel, with another 500,000 reserves. And that number, based on the size of Eritrea, is simply not sustainable. It cannot go on indefinitely. So if you look at the birth rate of Eritrea, which is anywhere from about 60,000 to a low of 30,000, and I believe last year in 2020 the birth rate was about 49,000 people. Okay, so that means really every year there's going to be about anywhere from between 20 to 25,000 fighting age males coming to age yearly. So if you think about the fact that, okay, you have 20 to 25,000 fighting age males, and I understand Eritrea also conscripts women into the military, but the vast majority of their fighting units are made up of males. When we see Eritrean units in the field, they are predominantly males. We do see females in parades, but I'm certain that it is not common to see large units of females fighting inside of of Ethiopia. That's just not reasonable. It just, I mean, you can have females in the military, but to have them a major part of your military in terms of combat arms is just not realistic. So you have to look at the fighting age males. And for Eritrea, that is about 20 to 25,000 annually, which would mean just to maintain an army of 100,000 personnel, you would have to have an enlistment of about 5 years just to maintain an army of 100,000 personnel. And if you were going to double that to 200,000, you're going to need to maintain a conscription of approximately 10 years to maintain 200,000 soldiers because of the size of the Eritrean population. I hope that makes sense. So I personally believe that the Eritrean military is probably actually in the neighborhood of about 100 to 150,000 men. I know we've heard reports of 300,000, and Eritrea can put out any kind of misinformation it wants. But I do believe there are significant elements in that 50,000 neighborhood. Probably half of the Eritrean army has been moved into Tigray, and there are probably a couple of thousands that have been moved into this disputed area inside of Sudan, operating around Brecht. But then the question is again why? What is the purpose of the Eritrean activity inside of Tigray? And I believe it serves two purposes. One, Afwerki, the dictator of Eritrea, is looking to eliminate the opposition movement that is located inside of Tigray, the opposition movement that is in opposition to his dictatorship. Many peoples have escaped Eritrea and have moved into refugee camps inside of Tigray. Now many of those refugee camps have now been eliminated by the Eritrean military. So that was one reason why Afwerki did what he did. I believe also Eritrea intends to annex the northern regions of Tigray, and I believe he's looking for people. I believe that the current population of Eritrea, is not sustainable, and he has to do something with that giant army that he keeps. You just can't have a big army and do nothing with it. You just can't. And he is actively doing something with it. He's moving it around, he's using it, and he's using it in a very harmful way inside of Tigray, and he's also using it in other parts of Ethiopia because he can. The greatest resource of Eritrea right now, as we speak, besides the small amount of gold that the country is able to mine, is human capital and his military. That is Eritrea's greatest resource right now, is his military, and he has to use it. If you don't use this resource, it's just going to waste, and it's eventually going to turn on him. So that is what he is doing, and he is also at the same time getting rid of the opposition, and he is, I believe, obtaining more people to put into his system, because 3.5 million people isn't enough. Certainly, no one is beating down the Eritrean immigration department in order to get in. No one is trying to get into Eritrea. Most people are trying to get out. So he is basically subjugating an area of Tigray and possible other areas of Ethiopia as well, and possibly Sudan, in order to obtain people. That's it.